Manchester United out of the Champions League. A diabolical performance. A lack of mentality, a lack of quality, derived from the inability to maintain composure. Man United started the game as the better team. They moved the ball better. They played the ball better. But as soon as Ati laid a jab, not even a right hook, a wee little jab on Man United's chin, the bottle went, the composure went, and the ability to play disappeared. And the longer the game went on, the worse it got. The defending for the goal that we conceded, I won't even offend schoolboys and schoolgirls, school thems and school theys, by insulting them, by calling it that level. The centre-backs dragged all over the place. The low rightfully going onto the inside. Rightfully going onto the inside. And then Elanga not tracking his man back. Absolutely horrendous. Horrendous beyond belief. Horrendous. The level of...
I don't know why the camera's gone.
Take the wire out of thing. It's always that wire thing, bro. Guys, we'll be back with you as quick as we can. We're having a little technical problem here that we're trying to resolve. I'm not too sure what it is or why it's happening. Just stay with us for a second, please, people. I'm not too sure what happened, but Manchester United out. An abysmal performance from this team, an abysmal performance from this club. Absolutely horrendous. Horrendous from this football club. And from my standpoint and my point of view, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I've been talking about this for a long time. A lot of Man United fans want to ignore it and talk about quality. They want to talk about patterns of play. They want to talk about all these weird things connected to Manchester United. None of them have ever been the reason that we've failed. None of them have ever been the reason that Man United have ended up where we are. This club has no soul. This club has no heart. This club has no direction. And it doesn't matter how good your coach is or is not, how good your players are or are not. I'll give you an example. Bruno Fernandes was horrendous tonight. And as the game went on, he got worse. We brought on a player that everybody says oozes in class compared to him. And Paul Pogba did nothing either. Jadon Sancho tonight did nothing either. Ronaldo, nothing. Because as soon as the going gets tough at this club, everybody fades away. Everybody falls apart. The only positive tonight was seeing Maguire throw away his captain's armband when he was substituted off. It was the only benefit. Legitimately the only benefit. Not one positive aside from that comes out of this tonight. Not one. And Ralph Rangnick, look, his interim period is what it is. He's fouled, though, in that time, there's no doubt. He has fouled. Any talk of him being the full-time manager needs to be laughed at. There are a number of these players that need a long, hard look in the mirror. At one point, Juan Mata, Cavani, and Ronaldo were on the pitch with a combined age of about 297. Allowing Martial and Donny van de Beek to leave was a horrendous decision by the football club. Bringing nobody in January, another terrible decision by this club. I think with hindsight, appointing Ralph as the interim, instead of bringing in a manager with him going upstairs back in November, another terrible mistake. But the season is now over for Manchester United. It is done. It is finished. And there is nowhere else to go. There is no papering over these cracks. Yes, a lack of quality that stems more so from our inability to remain focused. You've seen Liverpool in recent weeks, the ability to stay on point, to not lose their heads. Chelsea went through a bit of a rough patch in December. It looked like their season could fade away. They could be dragged into a top 4 race. They lose that final, but they bounce back with wins. And look at the turmoil going on at their club. And we can't work the ball into the box. Rashford can't beat a man. Cavani doesn't turn up to work. Bruno has lost it and just whacks the ball into the air. Paul Pogba, what did you do when you come on? Nothing. Maguire, take the pink boots off. You don't deserve pink boots. Black Pumas at best. Standard studs. Maximum. Alex Telles, the lack of athleticism in you is horrendous. You move like my nan and she died in 2007. Rigor fucking mortis, bruv. You move like a dead person. Dead. And Delo, listen, Delo is an eye test merchant's dream. He looks good doing nothing. Him and AWB do the same shit. One just looks good doing it. The other one looks bad doing it. That's it. That's what all it comes down to. And Ronaldo, listen, he is the all-time greatest goal scorer of all time. But if we're not creating him chances, he does nothing else for the team. His performance against Tottenham was great. We created the chances for him. He puts them away. But I look at him and think to myself, we just lose a player when we're not able to create the chances. It's exactly what happened against Man City a week or so ago, and it happened again tonight. Once we stopped being able to break Atty down, once they sat deep, Man United were done. Man United were finished. There's just no getting away from that. It's another horrendous night to be a Manchester United fan. But you know what? From my standpoint, I feel embarrassed of my football club. I am ashamed of the way they operate. I'm ashamed of the way they play. I'm ashamed of how every single element of this club, from top to bottom, from front to back, it is without doubt one of the most embarrassing falls from grace. 13 Premier League titles we'd won by the time Fergie retired back in 2013. We haven't challenged for one since. No trophy in 5 years. And did we expect to win tonight? Win the Champions League? No, we didn't. But at least go through and show a little bit of pride. And tonight was the worst case scenario. We went out playing horrendously, just like we did against Seville, just like we did against Barcelona, just as we did against Bayern Munich. All the times we've been knocked out of the Champions League knockout stages, we haven't got beyond a quarterfinal in a decade. It's an embarrassment. And of course you blame the Glazers. We've had some terrible managerial appointments. We've bought some duds. We lack a mentality. Fans still buying merchandise. Shame on you. You support this. You're feeding the drug habit. It's just done. And we are in the mud tonight, and you've got to take it. Arsenal are on the rise. Liverpool could do a goddamn quad. They could do a quad this year. City could win their 4th league title in 5 years. Our 2 biggest rivals have got quads and trebles on. Chelsea could match our 3 Champions League titles this year. Arsenal, they're on the way back. They already have more FA Cups than us. If Man United fans are not angry, oh, you're just spoiled. No, I'm not spoiled. £1.6 billion spent on players. Over £1 billion spent on wages. It's a horrendous state of affairs to not be where we should be for spending that money. And yes, some of these players aren't up to the task. Yes, the majority of them, none of them have the mentality anymore for Man United. None of them. They're done. It's been eroded or it was never there. I don't care which. It's an abomination. And now next year, every Thursday night, what we're going to hear? Don't laugh. That's what we've got to listen to. We've got to listen to that joke of a tune.
For a decade, not just next year.
It's the biggest. That's the thing I'm most embarrassed about. The £1.6 billion spent on squad since 2013. And we haven't laid a glove domestically on anyone or in Europe. We're an embarrassment. And Mo, who's formerly of AFTV, said this a few years ago. And I pushed back against this being said because I didn't want to hear it. But it's the truest thing you'll hear when it comes to Manchester United. We are no longer a great club. We have a great history. There was a great heritage. But not anymore. Not anymore. That's done. That's in the past. That belongs on the History Channel, Discovery Plus, David Attenborough talking about it. Jurassic Park. That's where it is. Fossiled club. Fossiled. That's what we are. We're a fossil. And I know we still want the great things and we have these big expectations, but we have got no right, barring the money being spent, to expect it because we are run like a crock of shite. Oozing, malignant pus. And rivals should laugh at us. And any Man United fan throwing salt back or trying to banter them back, again, have some shame. Shame on you. This football club is just an embarrassment. And I have to apologize again to my children. I am so sorry that I've made you, that I what's the word, what dogs do? The thing where they don't embed themselves. They do something, imprint. That I imprinted this club on you. That I've made you support them. If you want to be a City fan, a Liverpool fan, an Arsenal fan, a Chelsea fan, I always said that I would kick you out the house. I know you're only 1, 3, and 7, but I take that back. If you want to change teams and laugh at your daddy, then feel free to. Feel free to. Because you're going to get bullied because of this decision. Don't laugh. With my kids. They're going to get bullied. And I'm just laughing at my club now as well because they deserve to be laughed at. We deserve to be laughed at. What was that scene in Game of Thrones where she gets marched through the town? Shame. That's us, bruv. Shame. 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 This football club is horrendous. Now, I want to say a big shout out to Boohoo Man that are sponsoring us tonight. This is one of the new coats. I quite like it. Linked in our description below. Up to 40% off their entire clothing range. Go and have a little celebration tonight. Rivals on me. 40% off. Use promo code TFT. Make sure you're getting that done. I've got super chats here before I bring in my panel and go to calls. World-class performance from Atletico Madrid. Beautiful one-touch football on long passes. Possession will always be overrated, is what Grey Wolf Dinner said. I'm not too sure if it was a world-class performance from Ati, but they defended resolutely. Barring the header from Varane, we created diddly squat in the second half. Theatre of screams. You're right. I'll be screaming tonight. Why does Rangnick keep playing Maguire, Bruno, CR7, always moaning? Team is a joke. We're midfield. We're mid-table. Listen, that's where Rangnick has to be criticized. You're right. Maguire starting football matches is an abomination. Bruno Fernandes has been shockingly bad. I don't mind he's moaning because he did that when he was being successful. So that doesn't bother me personally. But he's gone. His head's gone like everyone else we've ever brought into this club. And I see idiot Man United fans celebrating. Oh, I told you Bruno weren't that good. I told you. Yeah, but you also said that Pogba was going to ball out week in, week out. No one performs. I don't hate any one individual player because they're all crap. They're all shit. Every one of them in a Man United shirt. Pogba will even look good. Bruno, everyone going, I want him out of my club. I want him out of my club. He's no good. It will even look good. Rashford will leave and start scoring. Trust me. Trust me. Horrendous football club. I wish we could have both celebrated this evening, Terry, mate. Everyone around Doncaster lost, so the gap is still 4 points. Feeling for United fans at the minute. Thank you there, Costa Chow. Big Donny Rovers fan who obviously lost tonight as well. That made me feel better, to be fair. The camera had a meltdown after watching the garbage game. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there with the cameras, but they're back now. Bruno looks more interested in moaning at the ref than improving his game. Best moment of CR37 tonight was chasing after the ref, asking for a foul. This isn't even a great La Liga team of 2 years ago. United have been knocked out for the 5th time by Spanish teams. You wouldn't even make top 6 in Spain. So bad. You're right. And Man United wouldn't make the top 6 in Spain. We might not even make the top 6 in the Premier League, bruv. And I know Spain's easier, but we're not going to make it here. We're not going to make it there. It's going to be conference football.
Get the tune on.
Colleen, I'm kicking you out in a minute. Young lady, you're going to go. You're out of here. I'm going to grab you by your weave and throw you out.
This is embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing.
Another United season finished by a La Liga team. Why can't United play against them? Is it a mentality issue? Of course it is. It's a mentality issue. It's happened to multiple squads at multiple times by multiple managers. It ain't individuals. Watch Tuchel drive the 7-seater bus tomorrow to Lille and still win. Also, CR7 is just another Lukaku with finishing. Listen, maybe now some of you might think that, but don't reduce Ronaldo's career to Lukaku's, please. Another damning statistic, top 10 runners of the game. 5 are Atletico Madrid's, bottom 5 are Man United. And we could see that watching. The lack of impetus, the lack of energy. Shocker. Deborah here with a lovely donation says Ronaldo can do it. Man United can't. Win, lose. No consistency in this team. As a Liverpool fan, watch out. Terry, where's your vodka tonight? Yeah, I've got to drive home later, so I'm not drinking, brother. Theatre of wet dreams is what 30 Cents has got to say. Interesting. Bro, I've connected my already fragile mental health to this club. It's time to find a new club. I know we'll win a couple of games, but I can't, bro. David T is leaving the Man United fan base. I will say it again. You could learn a thing or two from Xavi and Laporte. I used to think they were the same, but no, your case is really bad. Yeah, but you know what happened at Barca? Barcelona failed because they stopped running themselves well. They shipped out the people running the club badly. And guess what they've done for the past 7-8 months? They've started to run the club well. They're rebuilding the mentality. It ain't hard to do. It really isn't hard. You just bring in good people. Terry, where's your vodka tonight? I've already answered that question. My heart genuinely hurts. Tears welling up. I'm 26. Well, David T, don't let it break you like that, brother. I get that feeling as well. But don't let it take you down like that, my friend. United thought they had that Chelsea juice, bruv. It's terrible. Can we stop making excuses for Rangnick now? It's not about making excuses for Rangnick. We know he isn't a good enough manager. He's made mistakes, but would you want us to say Rangnick out? He's already gone at the end of the season, bruv. I don't know what you expect us to say. We're never going to treat Rangnick like a full-time manager who spent £350 million on players. Come on now. I know that's what you want, but it ain't going to happen. What are you worried about? We've got the mighty Glazers, Goat, Maguire, and Rashford. I'm not surprised or disappointed. 5 years without a single trophy, not a top 4 club anymore. Finding Bruno, the Man United era is long gone. Slabhead nutting Sue was comedy gold. Yeah. Aaron here says, predictable result. Atletico only need 1 goal. United couldn't break them down. I saw United fans throwing things at Simeone at the end of the game. Disgraceful from the pitch to the stand. Yeah, listen, of course that behavior is never tolerated and wrong. We didn't play tonight. But our game in hand. Okay, I hear you now, my brother. Stephen here, long time no speak. Hope you're well. Says, don't want to say you're in the Europa League next season, as we might not get top 4 as an Arsenal fan. I get you, but we do this season, and United has been awful saying you would be title challengers. We should have been title challengers. We had Troops in here earlier that said the same thing. He thought they were going to be this year. Bruno. Fernandes played like soccer hero, bad player is what SB says. United were better off drowning PSG with Sorry. United were better off drawing PSG. Oh, sorry. I hear what you're saying there, my bro. You fans deserve this for Chelsea abuse by the government. Okay. I don't know where that one come from. Ronaldo, Pogba, Van der Beek, Cavani, Lingard will be gone by the summer, and the future will be McTominay, Fred, and Maguire. Yeah, but what are the rest of them? What have any of them done? What have any of them done? Listen, it might leave us with lesser quality, but I don't care which one of them leaves now. I'm done. I don't care about any of them leaving. And honestly, I'm not even mad. 2 of the best chances fell to an 18-year-old centre-backs out of position. The Lowe's lack of awareness on the goal. I hear you. We'll get on to Delo in a minute. So nobody is going to talk how Ten Hag is a bigger bottle job than Poch. Did they go out tonight?
Ajax are out.
Oh, Ajax went out. Wow. Well, we didn't cover that game, bro. We wouldn't have beaten Ajax or Benfica either. I'm 100% sure of that. Absolutely. I hear you on that. Look, we're going to go to some of your calls in a few moments. I am joined by Colleen in the studio. How are you?
Honestly. Do you know what? I'm gonna park my footballing politics to one side for a minute. Not for the whole stream, but just for the minute. But, you know, watching that game as a neutral, it was so frustrating. It was bordering on pathetic, actually. Throughout the first half, as an attacking unit, and then 10 minutes in the second half, as an attacking unit, forget the defensive aspect, as an attacking unit, you guys were splitting their centre-backs, splitting their full-backs, you were getting in there with Elanga, and then it was almost as like, after 50 minutes, you didn't get another goal, that you were already 1-0 down. It was like, okay, I'm just going to stop being imaginative, stop being creative, stop doing the basics right. There was such a lack of mentality, a lack of leadership in that second half. When the substitution came on, I was like, right, okay, it's 20 minutes. You're going to at least try and throw the kitchen sink at it. Did nothing, literally nothing. And, you know, you can complain about the ownership and the manager, which rightfully so. But in that moment, with the quality on that pitch, it was like it was a bunch of individuals as the game progressively went on and on and on into the second half. It was pathetic. It was pathetic. And isn't Atletico Madrid of 3, 4, 5 years ago, you were splitting them open. You were completely splitting them open. Then it was just like, I just give up. It was almost reminiscent of how you gave up in the Manchester derby. You were down a goal, came out for the second half. First 10 minutes, you didn't get a goal. So it was like, okay, just gonna, you know, stop trying, stop being creative. You know, in the first half, you were winning the second balls. In the second half, you were just giving it away. You were giving them possession. They didn't have to do anything. And then the few moments you had to be a defensive unit, awful. It was just awful. And, you know, I enjoyed watching the game as an Arsenal fan because you guys, I hope you enjoyed listening to that Champions League music tonight because you're not hearing it again. Not with the mentality like that, with a culture like that. The last 20 minutes, Terry, did you see any fights or at least trying to throw anything at it? It was so slow, sideways passing, giving the ball away. It was just, you know, at least try, put some effort in. Awful. But great for me.
Listen, you are right, and again, I know what socials will talk about. It'll be the player quality this and player quality that.
Nah, you can't blame an individual tonight for that United performance. There was awful performances across, but collectively, crap.
And that's what it comes. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. This team is not a team. It's a lot of individuals that fail as you know, we fail as a collective because everybody's trying to be an individual. Yeah. As soon as the going gets tough, we saw it. Yeah. Man City, we all sat in there watching it 2 weeks ago, a week ago together. We opening 25 minutes, we looked like we could take it to City. City turned up the gear. They got that second goal. Their heads went, and then we didn't touch the ball for the rest of the game. We didn't try. How can you be in the game well for 25 minutes and then that isn't a quality issue? It's a mentality issue 100%. Every single day of the week. This club is just an absolute disgrace. We're going to go to calls now. We've got Sunshine to come on. We've got Oh My Digi to come on. KJ's on with us first here to have his say. Make sure that like button is being smashed, people. Let's do this. Where am I pressing? This is the button, right? KJ, we're out. We're done. Give me your thoughts, mate.
In the words of Uncle Iggy, Man United give me heartbreak. That's what they give me. They don't give me joy. They don't give me glory. They don't give me none of that. They're not even a sweet taste of victory. Just pure heartbreak and agony. Ah, man. It's peak, man. It's peak. The performance, we lasted 30 minutes. That's all we had in us. 30 minutes of good football, 30 minutes of good control, of chance creation, and it just went away. And it wasn't even the goal that did it. It was a few tackles, it was a few bad decisions, it was a few rough moments of play, and then we just let them back in the game. And then from there, from 30 minutes onwards, it was all Atleticos, and then you knew what was happening. We knew what was going to happen. They get the first goal, and then mentality gone. Heads drop, football gone. It's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. And you just got to ask, where do we go from here? Because the conversation that needs to be had is about the ownership, is about the structure, is about the culture. But no one wants that conversation because we're all focused on players. He's not good enough. That's not. Yes, we get that. We understand certain players ain't good enough. We understand the manager ain't the manager that we want right now. But all that conversation is pointless because the people who are empowered to make the changes to those things don't care. So where are we going to go from here? Ten Hag just bottled the flipping Champions League as well. You may as well just come right now. It fits in. It's perfect. Like, there is a lot of work to be done at Man United. I don't know where we start. I honestly don't. Like, you could say the players, you could say the manager, you could say the structure, but whatever order we do it in, there's no guarantee that we'll fix it. And tonight is just probably just sums up our season as a whole. Just not.
Mate, it does. And the thing you put on there that's right is people, you've been in spaces, you've been on shows with people, nobody wants to have the conversation about the mentality and the structure and how we're run. What you will, I know what every space is going to, there'll be spaces focusing on Bruno, there'll be spaces focusing on Maguire. It'll be about all the individual mistakes and not the reason that these players are as a collective so weak, how we've got to this point after 9 years, why we haven't actually won trophies for 5 years. Because remember, the vast majority of players in this squad weren't here. A lot of them weren't here under Jose. Barely any of them were here under LVG. All but 2 of them were here under Moyes. And this is the same difference.
We have one player that's won the Premier League in time. Well, 2 players now with Ronaldo being back. But in terms of before Ronaldo, it was one player that won the Premier League with Man United. Just one. Everyone else is players have done amazing things somewhere else at different clubs. They come to our club and they just get infected. It's like a poison. Our club is legit poison. And that's the sad thing about it. I remember, Terry, you've heard me say this many times, and I got heat for it many times. We're just a normal club. We are normal. And I've been saying this, I've been talking about this for almost probably over 6 months now. When do we accept what we truly are? Because it's not like it's year 1 of a downfall, year 2 or year 3. It is year 9 and it's going on to year 10. Year 10 is coming. Don't worry about that. When do we accept what we are? Because I feel like as fans, when we do, we will actually have either more solace in what happens to us, or we'll actually take action to get us back to where we was. When Manchester United, we got all of this is happening, and them Glazers are thinking about knocking down Old Trafford. Bro, you need to knock down the structure of your old business first, sort that out, then you can revamp the stadium. Revamp the club.
Yeah. As we know, mate, Spurs lack of mentality. They built a beautiful stadium for what? To host the NFL. I wouldn't be, again, the only reason the Glazers are looking to redo this stadium, it will be investors putting money into it that pay for it. It won't be their money. So it will be different, property companies and whatever, and they'll get sponsorship deals. They'll pay for the building of it. and it'll be to raise the share price of the football club to make them more money. It'll be to generate more match day income, and it will be to hire the place out for concerts, for the NFL, whatever else it may be. That is what they will do it for. They'll probably put a little shopping center in it or whatever else. That's what it'll be for, about making money. They've got no desire to make this club better. They just don't, and 9 years proves it. Cage, listen,
Well, mate,
go on. Sorry.
One more thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what people want Man United fans to say at this point, because we've blamed the players, we've blamed the managers, we've blamed the structure, we've blamed the club, we've blamed the owners. There's literally nowhere else for us to go and vent and say whatever. We're literally in limbo. So, Colleen, I'm glad you're smiling. I'm glad you're smiling because we deserve that. I'm glad you're having a good time because this is what we deserve. We are now in limbo. So I don't know where we go from here, Terry. It come the summer, and again, it's just hopes and prayers. So maybe they just need all our footballers need God in it. Maybe that's what it is, bro. That's what we need, fam.
Mate,
right now,
I hear you, bro. I hear you. Chat to you soon, Cage. Top man. Thank you, bro. Thank you very much indeed. And it's like a lot of what you said there. Honestly, and there are things to talk about tonight. There was I know a lot of United fans, and we spoke about it in here, the foul on Fred in the lead up to their goal, was a foul for me. But I'm at a point where the performance was so bad, I don't care. Because if we were peppering the goal and Oblak was pulling off saves, we should have had a penalty or two that we didn't get. And then there was we dominated them. And then they had this one breakaway goal where there was a foul leading up to it. Maybe you feel hard done by. We don't deserve to moan about refereeing decisions tonight because we weren't good enough to win irrespective.
No. I mean, I don't even know where to start because I was sitting in the first 20 minutes when I was like, this is better than I expected. And Atletico were worse than I expected. And, you could see signs of United being able to break through. It's not like they were like a proper block and you couldn't get through and you just, they were just defensively well drilled. It wasn't the case. It just kind of felt like, you just kind of gave up. And as a defensive unit, let's not even get onto that. Let's not even get onto United as a defensive unit. Awful. What, 2-3 times Atletico got through? What? They missed one, scored an offside goal, and then the goal. I think they had 3 shots on target the whole game. Too easy.
It absolutely is. And there's a comment here from Winnerpool, Liverpool fan, says, no desire. They sign you the best players. Your players bottle it. Stop moaning on the Glazers. It's insulting intelligence. If they sign the best players who are never good enough, then the Glazers are signing the wrong people, aren't they? If they sign the best players to make us better, we'd be better, wouldn't we? They sign the wrong collective. There isn't a winning mentality at the football club, and it's why every single player goes backwards. And I'll make this prediction now. If we don't change the way we run as a football club, and this is out to the Pogba haters and the Bruno haters, the Maguire haters, the Rashford haters, who think it isn't about, you don't have to like those players, but this is what I hear in a lot of the monotone spaces. This is what you hear tonight. Get rid of Rashford and you want to improve. Get rid of Bruno. Get rid of Pogba. Pogba lazy. He's lazy. Get rid of Pogba. What just improved straight away? That's what you'll hear. I guarantee you this. Get rid of all those players all you want. If we don't change the way we run as a football club, in 18 months' time, we're talking about Sancho in the same way that we're talking about Rashford, the same way we're talking about Bruno, the same way we're talking about... Do you know how I know that? Because every player that's come in has ended up in that situation. Every young player that's come through the academy has started off promising. We think they're going to be something, and they fail to continue progressing, or they go backwards. I will mention Mason Greenwood for a minute, even though he's cancelled. Even Mason Greenwood, before he was rightfully kicked out of the squad, was going backwards, was not scoring at the rate we expected, was making terrible decisions, and was looking a lesser player. This is the way Man United are because it's rotten and everyone connected to it regresses. So for me, to sit there and act like, again, people just see the Glazers spending money, therefore they're good owners. It doesn't work like that. There are teams that spend less than us that are better than us because there's a structure and there's a culture at the club. Speak to any sports footballer and they talk to you about this thing all the time. We're going to go to another caller now. Then we're going to go to some more of your super chats. Make sure that like button is being hit, people. Man like Sunshine on with me now. Then it's all my Dizzy.
What up, man?
Bro, disappointing night. Give me your thoughts, mate.
I don't know why we're being shy not talking about referee. Let's just hit the fucking point, man. Colleen's sitting there, and rightfully she's saying we look good in the first half. So let's address the situation where it started to unfold. Because you can't go from coming off the back of a Spurs game, preparing well for the game, starting the game well, being on the front foot. When have we ever had 65% possession for so far in the game and looked like we were trying to create stuff? We are playing an Atletico Madrid who are a disgustingly nasty team to break down across Europe. So let's get one thing straight first. It's not like you're going to pierce them open 24/7. You've got to put some real work in to make that happen. And we managed to do that. And Oblak goes and saves the thing with his head. Fair play to Oblak. That goes in. The momentum shifts. The mindset shifts. That didn't go in. Did we drop off from that point? No, we did not. What did we do? We carried on peppering. We carried on making them passes. McTominay was quick with his passes. Muay Thai kicking, whatever he was doing. The guy was outstanding. Outstanding. These guys stepped up when it mattered up until the moment we started to get shagged by a referee. Now, if you're human beings, anyone watching this, listening, you guys sitting there right there, you're human beings. If you're confident, no matter what it is down here, and you slowly have to build yourself up, and then you've built up to the most perfect level to play in Atletico Madrid, who are stubborn to beat, and then you get shagged in the most disrespectful way you've ever seen. What do you want to do? Pipe back up. You're going to pipe back up, knowing where you've come from. You're going to pipe back up and be like, yeah, we've still got this. They've gone as Elanga. The guy's running. When will a foul be given when a player does not touch a flipping ball? Where are the basics gone? Did he get the ball first challenge? No. Did he knock him off balance? Yes. He took 3 more strides. The guy's gone into him again. He's gone down. Anywhere else, that's a foul. That is a foul. Where's the basics gone of football? Did he touch the ball? No, he did not. So there's the foul leading to a goal. You can talk about Fred. We can talk about that. But those 2 instances there, you go fair play, and they've got a goal off it. That's literally going to sink your emotions straight to the gutter, because you know you've been on top and you've been hard done by. But you know what? They still carried on playing, Terry. They didn't drop at that point. They still carried on playing. What happens after? Ball goes over the top. Bruno gets the ball. 2 things. He gave a goal kick. Now, if it comes off Bruno, that's fine. It's a goal kick. But then that means the challenge from behind means that he didn't get the ball either. So it's a foul on Bruno. And if it's a corner, it means that it's not a foul because he won the ball first. It's not a goal kick. So how can we sit here and not talk about the elephant in the room and talk about this player, that player, when we're being shagged? I don't get it. And I'm one of the most understanding United fans you've ever met, Terry. You know this. We talk regular. You know I'm honest. You know I'll sit here and slate my team. You know when I'll sit here and go, you know what, Terry? The performance wasn't great, so I'm not happy even though we got results. And you know what, Terry? When we don't deserve to win, we don't deserve to win. And you know what else, Terry? I was there when we got slapped when we won 4-3 against Madrid. 0-4. We didn't go out, but the whole stadium standing there like this. Because what it means to be a Man United fan, simple. Doesn't matter if you win, lose, or draw. It's the manner in which you get your results. I can happily take any defeat if I know my team stepped up. The seed that was planted was from that UEFA wasteman ref. Wasteman. And it was planting. And then they not even giving fouls, not even giving yellow cards to the other players. Certain fouls. The one on Varane, no yellow card. How's Darren Fletcher getting a yellow card before 3 of their man? How? Where's the logics? I can deal with logics. I don't do excuses. Give me logics and I'll sit here and go, oh, fair play, mate. I didn't see it like that. Cool, fair play. Shake hand. Well done, you. Why is no one talking about this? Oh, I don't even swear, bro. Why is no one talking about this? We can analyze anything. We can talk about the Glazers. We've done that many times. No problem. And you are right. Because there are several problems with United by the Glazers, the way we run, Matt Judge, Ed Woodward, Richard Arnold, certain players, the mentality, Mugwai, Margaret, McToilet, whatever. They're all an issue. And we're all right on that. No problem. But I'm not going to sit here and listen when the referee's not even being spoken about. It's not a competition. Are we scared of rival fans saying excuses? Allow rival fans. Who are them? They're meant to say that, because if they have to talk about the referee, it stops them having banter, because they know they have to be honest and start going raw. You got shagged. The biggest principle of this, Terry, I'll be honest, mate, the biggest principle of it, you had commentators who get paid to sit on the fence, who get paid to be professional fence sitters, going, I've never seen a referee performance this bad. So you know what? For one game out of the whole season, I'm not going at no players. Because up until that moment we got shagged, I believe they did everything they should have. Everything I expected. And if we didn't win tonight and they still maintain that mentality, I would have gone, you know what? You did your job. Fair play. I won't be sitting here cussing. I'm absolutely flabbergasted by UEFA. They are disgusting. That referee, mate. That referee. I beg him go on ancestry.com and go chat to his... go do something with the people then, man. I'm not even going to disrespect his family like that, but he needs to go there and have certain words with him, because I'm telling you now, that guy, bro, how can he be a referee? How? With what credentials? What minerals? What? Where? Who? Who is he? I mean, he was dodgy against Man City as well. But what is going on? I can't sit here and literally blatant go at my whole team, bro. I'm not going to sit here and go at my whole team when you know I'll happily do that any time of the day when we're being shagged like that. Whoever plants a bloody seed in the ground deserves the most credit for that flower or that tree. That referee planted doubt throughout the whole team. The whole team. Ugly to watch. And you want players who are already down on confidence, who are already low on the meter, who've had to pick themselves up after a great win against Tottenham, to go and find that mentality again when you've only just found it and it's been sapped out of your whole system. We haven't got the players to get them up and going anyway. It's a fighting an uphill battle. It was not a fair match. Fundamentals of football gone down to corruption, my brother. That's it. And that will happen against any other team, and you'll see it. Rival fans will be in the same position. It gets ridiculous and it gets silly when it gets to a stage where we can't even have logical conversations about these decisions, to the point where we have to forget about them because they're so blatantly obvious. And our mind is so warped. Our mind is so warped that we're seeing this level of fuckery that we don't even know what to say. We try and sit here and justify what they are doing with logics. And because we can't, bro, they sound so stupid. That's why you got that idiot on BT who's meant, whatever referee he was, going, it's not a foul, because I see where you're coming from, mate, but, you got to look at it from the other side. It was a bit reckless and a bit dangerous. Why? Because he's high-fived the guy. This is where we're at now. Brain-dead football. No logics. Common sense used to be common. It's no longer common no more, bro. It's no longer common. It's stupid.
Look, I understand where you're coming from. I do get it. I do understand
Fuckery.
It. Fuck me.
No, fuckery.
All right, sorry. I was
never that, bro. Never that, man. Never that.
No, listen, I'm cool. I can think I'm a grown man. I'm waiting. Fuck you.
No, never that. Apologies, no, never that. Fuckers, man.
4 years on the terrace because I want to say that to me and no one has done it.
No, my bad.
It made me feel better.
No.
It's okay. No one will lose their jobs. It's all fine. Listen, listen. I understand where you're coming from. I think for me, sorry, I'm just laughing at Javed. I think for me, I understand where you're coming from. For me, it should have been a foul, not on Elanga, more for Fred in the build-up to that goal. And yeah, but I felt both sides were given soft fouls, for things that we got some, they got some. He didn't have a great game today, but I still feel like these players should keep their heads and should be held accountable for not creating the abundance of chances that would have been needed. And you're right, they are a hard team to break down, and we understand that. Our bad defending on 2 or 3 other occasions had nothing to do with the referee. From your point, Cole, do you feel like the referee played a big part in the game tonight?
I don't think he had the best game. And I didn't think the Elanga one was a foul, be honest with you. But the Fred
how
one,
was that not a foul? Did he get the ball?
It looked like he went down too soft, in my opinion. When I watched it, I thought he went down too soft.
I'm sorry, Colleen. The first challenge, he could have had every opportunity to go down. He stayed on his feet.
So
He's knocked him off balance.
So,
he's come
okay,
back
so
again. He's gone down
the
there.
decision goes against you, right? With Alanga. Okay, it goes against you. Then Fred gets fouled. I thought that was a foul, but the ref
was more
doesn't
of a
give
foul,
it,
yeah.
right? So he doesn't give those fouls. So in that moment,
Correct.
what next? So the United players next. At that moment,
the defensive shape from Dalot was
the
awful.
thing is, those moments happen in games, and I don't think the ref had a great game. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm saying the ref had a great game, but in those 2 moments, there was still time to have some sort of mentality and a defensive unit there. It's just like as soon as those 2 decisions went against you, the ball hadn't got in the back of the net yet.
I'll tell you what I can appreciate.
Awful defensive structure after that. It was like, you know, and it wasn't the first time. A couple of times, the only 2 times that they tried to attack you defensively, was awful. And I
100%.
believe it was a foul on Fred, but
100%.
I think you've got to be better. Got to be better in the next phase.
I've got no issue talking about defensively. There's no issue with that. My expectations of Dalot defensively has never been great. I'm not saying it's an excuse. I just expect that to happen at some point. But when it goes to VAR and there is clear fouls, then I'm sorry. At that point, I will call corruption. That's the point I've got an issue with. Because you can talk about that defense. We can talk about it and go, you know what, fair play. But in the eyes of football gods, obviously, everything has a knock-on effect.
So what? Do you just stop then?
No, you don't stop. You don't stop.
Once
No,
the goal's gone in, what do you guys do as a collective? Do you say, okay,
when you go to VAR and you say clear foul, has nothing to do with Dalot struggling to defend. It has everything to do with corruption. And then when there are consistent decisions like that on a pitch, regardless of whether my team, Arsenal, bloody Tottenham, it doesn't matter. When there are consistent decisions like that being made, it then stops you evaluating the game for what it is, because you have to focus on the corruption as opposed to going on the game, because it's not run fairly. If he never went to VAR, I'd be like, yeah, fair. I could spend time highlight and correctly highlighting issues with Diego Dalot. I will be doing that. Terry knows this. I will have conversations about any player not doing his job. I can even talk about flipping Harry Maguire. Yeah, sorry, Margaret, because he was awful tonight. I can talk about Margaret doing Tokyo drift, fucking 180s and 360s at the back, taking the ball back, trying to drift around in his own box, giving the ball to De Gea, who can't kick for shit anyway. But I can't have that conversation because I have to talk about the corruption that led before the bullshit. And that's my issue. I've got no issue.
I can see, like, I agree. I didn't agree with a lot of the officiating going on tonight, but I just don't see how that should be the knock-on, mentally. You guys go back in, you regroup, it's half-time, you come back out, you're at home, you're 1-0 down, 2-1 down on aggregate, at Old Trafford with the fans there. It just kind of, you've got to regroup, and mentally you've got to get there, otherwise you don't deserve to be in this.
I'll be honest, I agree with you, but one thing I have to...
45 minutes left to play, 55 minutes at that point. Do you know what I mean? There's another 55 minutes to play after that goal's gone in.
But this is my point. This is my point. I even said it in the previous. After that goal went in, I still saw us penetrating Atletico Madrid in the same way. Was it as strong? No. Was it as consistent? No. But we're still making that effort. So for me, I still saw a level of mentality still to go out there and do their best to break down a very stubborn Atletico Madrid team. And this is my point. You look, and I brought you back to that Bruno point. So fair play. Alanga wasn't a foul. Fred wasn't a foul. Cool. They've checked it. The goal's gone in. Dalot was shit. Let's keep it moving. So why are we playing a ball over the top? They're giving a goal kick. Therefore, it's come off Bruno. So if it's come off Bruno, then what was the challenge on Bruno from behind? Did he get the ball? Because if he got the ball, then that's going to be a corner. He's given a goal kick. So that is unexplainable. You can find any logics, and I'm sure you're a very smart, intelligent woman. You very much see it. But you won't find any logics for that. No footballing reason to give a goal kick. If he's given a goal kick, it's come off Bruno's knee. Therefore, that challenge behind him means he never touched the ball.
I hear you. In that moment, yes, you can be frustrated and definitely not your confidence. But again, you guys went back in for half time and then you came back out again and was still shit. It was a shit performance.
Yeah, I've not said.
I know things went against United, they did, but I'm sorry, you guys had another 50 minutes to turn it around. You had a 20-minute period after 70 minutes, and no one laid a glove. You had substitutions, nothing. Slow pass. You can't blame the referee for that.
But did you not hear what I said at the start?
I can understand those moments affect footballers.
No, it's not about this
moment. But it wasn't in the last 10.
No, it's the build up to them moments.
You guys went back in. You came back out.
I think, and this is one thing, yeah, people don't appreciate, yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't know how you guys are into sports psychology, everything else, my experience and everything else with my personal life and my job. That's what I do. I look at the build-up of how this team has got from there. The root of it will always go to the Glazers. Their mentality filters down. I'm looking at a period of 10 games when we've been shit. And I've been looking at them. I've been looking at the Man United players, their mentalities. I speak about it a lot about Maguire. His decision-making under pressure. He's incompetent. He's not trustworthy. I've been saying that from time, right?
So are you okay with it? Are you okay with going out the Champions League the way you did? Is it just the officiating, or are you happy with the overall performance for 90 minutes? Are you happy with it?
The overall performance for 90 minutes was dog shit. But that's what I'm alluding to. This is what I'm trying to say. When you build yourself up of confidence, you win against Spurs in the manner that you did. They scored, they come back. They scored, they come back, and you still showed a bit of heart and desire. There was a little bit of trust built within the way we were playing football. That was clearly evident. That went from that Spurs game into the start of this game. So that mentality shift has gone from Spurs to the start of this game. Perfect. We went 1 goal down. Let's forget the decisions. I'll put my personal feelings aside for them decisions. I'm going to agree with for the sake of it, right? We still managed to penetrate them and still create chances going in and behind. There's a moment we came out in half time. Alan got that beautiful chance. The mentality, in my opinion, I don't think I'm not saying their mentality shouldn't be what you're saying it is. I agree with that. But the reality of it is that these players do not have that within them because they have been consistently drilled with I'm going to swear then, with absolute bullcrap from top to bottom consistently. So what's inside them, they've got no motivation. We're dealing with players who are entitled, who have no feelings to go and get up for training, who have no feelings to go and earn a new contract. Because that's how they are run. So therefore, there is no incentive for them to play better.
I agree.
Right now, at this moment in time, the only thing we've got left is for them to find some pride. We've managed to do that. But you'll know as a human being and everyone else, when your confidence is down here, and it takes years, months, whatever, to get to there. It takes maybe 3 or 4 moments in a good period for you to go straight back down here, and then you've got to go like that again. That is natural. That's the standard psychology. These players are not ready. They're not ready to be put under pressure.
Yeah, guys, look, great conversation. We've got some other calls we've got to jump into. Sunshine,
man,
that's fine, mate. Listen, I appreciate it. Good points being raised. Top man, mate, and we'll speak again soon. Thank you very much indeed. Lots of super chats to get to, but we're going to go to Z and Oh My Dizzy first to come on and have their say. Out. Give me your thoughts, mate. Are you blaming the ref?
You know what? Can I take you down the story real quick?
Please.
So Saturday. Sorry, I was at my auntie's birthday, watching the United game. Wonderful, right? Glorious. Oh, I wanted to call Harry Kane a fraud. I wanted to come on here and call Harry Kane a fraud so bad, but I knew that this game was coming. I had zero expectations. When the game kicked off, I said, what minute do United concede? I guessed the 28th. It was the 40th. So I was kind of close. But talking about this game, defense wins championships. United's defense will concede a goal every single game without fail. That's how it goes. That's what we do. You cannot win anything substantial conceding at least 1 goal every game without fail. It just doesn't work. So here is how we are where we are. You can't build a confident team when they know kickoff, we're going to concede at some point. We're going to have to pull off at least 2 to win the game. That is not how confidence is built. And if you look at the defense, were you guys looking at the defensive line? Or Captain, what did Sunshine call him? Tokyo Drift Maguire. Hilarious. Look at where Harry Maguire is. He is supposed to be the guy that is shepherding this defensive line, keeping them all in line, keeping them all in shape. That's his job. He's the captain, for fuck's sake. Look where he's the only one out, and here's his thing. We can blame Delo, but he's only so far over because Maguire is not in the defensive line. If Maguire is where Dalot is, Dalot could be on Renan Lodi. At least he gets a challenge on it. So here's how we are where we are. I never had any expectations. I knew we was going to lose. We weren't going to win the Champions League anyway. So I can't really be pissed. I'm happy Colleen's happy, though. That's nice.
Thank you.
Mate,
I'm
listen,
glad.
I agree with your analysis. I mean, look, I understand where Sunshine's coming from. The referee was poor tonight. I very rarely blame refs. I never allow rivals to come on the terrace and blame refs without them being challenged. It's a story Vinnie Jones tells where his team were losing 5-0 and a bad decision went against them, and he grabbed the ref and barked in his face and told the ref he was having a stinker. And the ref just looked at him and laughed and said, "Have you seen the score?" And that's always stuck with me, that as bad as a referee will be, Man United, if you went and counted it tonight, Man United made 5 times as many mistakes, 10 times as many mistakes than the referee did. And the only time I think you can blame a ref is your team has been immaculate. You know, when Chelsea got knocked out the Champions League to Barcelona, I think you can blame a referee on that night when you get 3 or 4 absolute stonewall, obvious decisions to go against you. Everton can blame a referee that didn't get a penalty against Man City because they played so well to keep City out, and then they weren't given a decision that should have gone their way. Nights like tonight, I understand Sunshine's logic, but for me, I had some of the stuff I want to talk about the ref, but it weren't in my train of thought at all. I looked at this club and our weak-ass jaw.
See, my thing is with the ref had a stinker. The ref for sure had a stinker. The VAR team had a stinker. But I have to say again, we concede a goal every game without fail. That's not the ref's fault. They switch the refs every game. We have different refs and we concede a goal every game. The manner in which we concede is different every game. So it's not the ref's fault. What's it? Is it a bit cumulative to knock our confidence and blah, blah, blah and all that? Yeah, but this defense wins championships. That's the moral of the story. The whole defensive unit from the midfield to the defense to the goalkeeper, it doesn't work. And until something changes, we're going to keep conceding a goal every game. That's just how things go. That's how it's going to go.
Bro, I hear you. Listen, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. I appreciate it, mate. Top man. Speak soon. ZT on with this. We will be going to your super chats very soon. If you want to throw them in, get them done. Make sure like buttons are being hit. And, of course, a big thank you to Boohoo Man for sponsoring us. Again, it's another one of their jackets from a tracksuit. I wouldn't wear the trousers, but the jacket's nice. Go check it out. 40% discount. Promo code TFT10. Go check it out after the show is finished. All the information is in the description. But ZT is here now. What you saying, mate?
I just want to cry. Big man thing. I just want to cry. I'm going to be real. Like, I see man just blaming the ref. Ref for what? Like, man blaming the ref. Like, is this what it's coming to? Like, I could talk about Maguire all we want. Let's talk about Maguire. That's it. It's the same story every day. Why are we not going to talk about Varane? Since he's come to this club, he's barely been available. Does Varane even get into Arsenal's team right now? Does Varane get into Chelsea's team right now? Does Varane get into Man City? He doesn't. The guy's been barely available this season, and he's also at fault for the goal. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Like, none of these players are good enough. Like, it's complete trash. Bruno, again, lottery player. Hit and miss. When it works, it's good. When it doesn't, what's the point? And then after this, we're going to go, POGBA, the light and shade. Like, this guy's just trash. Like, people need to accept it. He's 29 today. Like, he looks like he's 39. The guy plays like he's 39. Like, he's trash. I don't get it, Terry. I literally don't get it. And then people want to come in and blame the ref. Sorry, son, you're my guy. You're my guy. But come on, blaming the ref. Blaming the ref for a shocking performance like that. It don't make no sense. Our team is finished. We're trash. Let's take the L. Like, we're where we're meant to be. We don't deserve to be in that competition. It would have been a disgrace for us to even go through. And we're where we are. Like, and listen, I've had my back and forth with Miguel on this, but when he talks about cohesion and everything, I agree with him. But one big thing that's missing from our team is the cojones. We ain't got no cojones.
Mate, listen, I agree with you completely. And I think that, as you say, when it comes to ability, we know Paul Pogba has ability. We saw him at Juve, We see him every time he plays for France. There's something about these players when they're in a Man United kit playing for our club. You know, and what's going to be more frustrating is some of these players will leave this summer, they'll go to other clubs, and they're going to start balling, and we're going to go, how'd this happen? And do you know where the case in point of this is? When Arsenal were on their downfall, and I'm sure Colleen had this stat thrown. How many players was it that like left and won trophies elsewhere?
Too many.
The amount of Arsenal players that left and went on to bigger and better things. Whether they were rated as some of your best players or not good enough for Arsenal, they did it. And it's because Arsenal would have lost their the man against boys phrase was already used. You lost something mentally, and it's taken you all this time to get it back. And that's what's fearful for me here as a United fan, is that we've had a few false storms in this last 9 years. And I remember Arsenal going through the same thing. And Arsenal were a gargantuan club, especially domestically in England. And it went away. And a lot of it for me was mentality based, because a lot of your squads between 2005 and kind of now, where you're looking really good again, a lot of those squads were full of very good players. And you just never had it. Every single February and March, it'd fall apart. I think every year.
I think what United's problem is, I guess when you're looking at it from the outside, it's so we all know it's a cultural thing. We all know it's a mentality thing, because how can you have, Varane, winner, Pogba, a winner, these people outside United, Ronaldo, a winner.
When was the last time Pogba was a winner?
Pardon?
When was the last time Pogba was a winner?
That's what I'm saying. Prior to United.
When he was babysitting.
Domestically,
but he was babysitting.
Regardless of how you feel about Pogba's influence at Juventus, they still won things. When you come to United, it feels like right now, it feels like when you say I think it's definitely a mentality and a cultural thing, but it's hard for people to accept because it doesn't feel tangible. It's like,
but it's
okay,
not
how
even
do
just
we
the
fix
culture.
culture?
That these are grown ass professionals.
But like Terry said, I agree. I think half of these players, if they go somewhere else, they'll probably still win something.
Nah, but it don't matter, and that's embarrassing. How do you fix that for United now? We need to flush them out. I don't even look. Pogba's a free agent. How many clubs are chasing him?
We'll just have to see where he goes.
No, but how many clubs are even chasing him?
How do you fix United? Because everyone's I agree. The players had a shocker. The culture.
You flush every single player out. You flush every single player out. That's
and
what
you think bringing in a whole new crop. Do you think it would be
you have to, because I'm
not disagreeing, but I'm saying, if you bring them in, and the structure of the club's the same, does anything change? Are you still not gonna have nights like tonight?
Yeah, of course the structure has to change. Let's be real, right? But we're talking about David De Gea being our best player, right? This guy, his contract's gonna end, right? I don't think people understand. It's gonna end at the end of next season. He's been shit for the 3 seasons prior to that. This is the reason why I was calling for Henderson to play. So why do we excuse him? Same energy with Luke Shaw. No, but I'm saying, why do you excuse him? Is it a guarantee he's going to perform this way next season? And the guy's distribution is crap, right? We got 2 dumb right backs that don't make no sense. People talk about Lindelof should play, but Lindelof is the reason why we bought Maguire. I think some of our fans are forgetting that. Like, Telles is no difference to Shaw playing. McDonald's in the midfield. Fred, like, people see him do 1 or 2 flicks and they say, oh, he's Brazilian again. The guy's awful. Like, let's be real. You're an Arsenal fan. How many of these players do you take?
None of them. I'm not taking none. Well, based off how they play in a United
ability-wise, you're going to take quite a few. But forget that. Based on how they are now, how do you take? Which ones do you take?
I don't take any on their current form and how they're playing.
No, forget who's. Tell me.
I'm not taking it. I wouldn't take any of them. But it's you. When you listed the players, it's almost like you're listing the first 11, literally every single player. It can't all just be on the players. Some of them are crap. Some of them are awful. Some of them put in some embarrassing performances. But
why can't it
it's
be?
more than that.
Why do we always have to excuse them?
Because it seems like every time you get a new player in, they have a bit of a bounce, then they're shit again. Like Bruno,
talking about
comes back, he's shit now.
Yeah, but I see people coming in talking about blaming the ref and talking about justice and talking about. Bro, listen, why are we making excuses? Is this Judge Judy? Man's talking about we need justice. Justice for what? I need justice. I need justice for my pain, bro. Like these guys have killed me. Like they've mentally drained me. Like I can cry right now. Like,
I
I'm
think the best
finished.
you can hope for is for Ralph, because obviously the Glazers aren't going to go. It's not going to happen in the short term. The best you can hope for, or the ray of light that I can see, is that if Ralph in these last 6 months has done his information gathering and actually goes upstairs and actually turns thing around, the structure and cultural wise of the club. Because outside of that, if he doesn't do that with the new manager coming in, I just don't see how players in. I'm not saying some players aren't good enough, because there's certainly a load of players they should be embarrassed to be wearing a Man United shirt. But unless that happens, it doesn't matter who you bring or bring out. I just don't see much changing.
Yeah, Z, look, I think you make some good points about a lot of those players, mate. I just think there's so much that needs fixing, and until there's a culture and structure, I don't think it matters which players it is. We all go backwards. But I hear you, bro. Thanks
Love
for
and
coming on,
respect,
mate, and
my
having
guy.
your say. I'll speak to you soon, brother. Thank you very much indeed. We've got a lot of super chats here that I've got to go through, but so many of them. Let's go through these. So the first one said, I think it's time for us to accept that Manchester United are a once great club. I think you're right there, Andre. Terry, your opinions on Alanga. Started well, looked bright, probably our best player for large parts of the game. Partly culpable for the goal. Didn't track back, didn't spot the danger. But faded like everybody else. But you don't blame him as much. It's his first full proper season. He's still a fledgling, and you should never put as much pressure on your young players as you do your experienced pros. Chelsea should learn from United and get owners like the Glazers, because they come from a good country, definitely don't steal money like Big Bad Roman. Compare this to what Real did to freaking PSG. I don't quite get what you mean. I don't get what angle you're coming from.
About them turning it around, like mentality.
Oh, yeah. The mentality's there, without a doubt. This is the worse than David Moyes. That's an interesting take. I think it's as bad, definitely as bad. It feels worse now because it's like again. It's
come out of the game.
Yeah. United fans should start pushing propaganda that the top six is great because the league is hard and Europa League is a worthwhile competition. Yeah, well, if any Man United fans do that, I'll be unfollowing them sharply. KJ will have 3 Premier League winners. We have 3: De Gea, Ronaldo, and Phil Jones. Yeah, there is 3. United, we not going to win anything for the next 20 to 30 years is what Jay thinks could happen. Next one here is insider information. Glazers' ancestors are Russian. Thank you for becoming a member here, my friend. Thank you. Glazers signed Ronaldo, Varane, and Sancho. L to the fans. Again, my brother, it isn't about what you sign. It's about how everything is structured internally. Stop. We already had that one. Sunshine, did you know the ref was arrested 2 years ago for leading a drugs and prostitution ring in Bosnia? No. No. What was he?
It's not true. He's just saying it's like he's really said look up his ancestry. He's trying to get him dogged in for something. Of course, it's not true. It better not be true.
Like, someone find out his name and Google it. Someone find out the ref's name and Google it. I want to know if that's true.
He's reeled you in, Terry.
No, I just want to know. Give us Bayern is what Edward Hogan says. Sunshine, you've lost your head tonight. The ref is not the reason that United lost. Horrible take, my friend. Look, I think Sunshine was right in the sense of the referee made some bad decisions, but the reason we went out for me was on United. A United fan crying about refereeing when the same ref gave the same treatment to Ati players. Delusional. I usually try not to blame the refs, and maybe Man United didn't do enough to win the game, but Sunshine is absolutely right. The ref killed the game is what Andre thinks. Ryan here says you can't rely on a ref being fair. Majority of our players don't care about us, the fans, enough just to get on with it and try to get the job done. Cowards. Princess says you're really going to blame the ref about your 20-year of biased refereeing. You, man, were gassed after beating the dead Spurs team. Ronaldo is back, yeah? I didn't say he was back. I'm glad I never said that. Sorry. It's true. No, I hear you. And this is the thing. I'm about to talk. Oh, the referee did it. The referee did it. No. Hang on a minute.
No.
Man's running.
Stop.
How is he running a prostitution and drug ring and refereeing a game?
I thought he was being a troll. Stop it.
Rah! Did he get convicted? Ah, man flipped. He flipped, bruv. He
bust case. He bust case.
Hang on. He turned stitch. He turned into a stitch. He busted the case. Now he's a ref. Shows you what. Oh my word. Oh my word. Never use Spurs to gauge where you are in the season. They literally have a bottom 6 defense right now. I hear you. Comment here from Matrix FIFA United team, Ultimate Team says it's not the players, it's the club. There was an interview where Alexis Sanchez made after leaving United. He said that when he arrived, something wasn't right. World-class players at Arsenal, and as soon as he arrived, he was horrid. And listen, I think if you go back and listen to what the ex-managers have said and a lot of ex-players have said, it's along those lines. And I think when some of these players start to retire, they might even be even more kind of direct. I think as when players tend to still be playing, they always tend to bite their tongue slightly with how hard they go in. I think a lot of this is going to come out in the wash about how bad Man United is run. Imagine spending 80 million on a fridge. Mate, got one for £80. Chuck here says refs having video replay to make sure they don't make mistakes. Stop defending them. Atletico didn't attack well either. They got the decisions and won. I just want to say that I'm here for you, Terry. Anytime you want a shoulder to cry on about your club, I can be there for you, mate. It's all right, African Giant. I'm all good, brother. These players are here for the money. It's in the majority. If you already have what you want, zero drive to win because they already got what they want here. They're cowards. Chuck says when a team bases their game on repeated failing but never gets booked, the ref needs to be called out. Defending on yellow cards is a different game. Cruz here says players are as good as any player in the top 5. The problem is structure, style of play, hard work and mentality. A great team can't play possession. Listen, I hear you completely on that. Man like Daniel here says can't help him. But I think these are Maguire's last days as captain because I get that he needed a goal, but I've never seen a captain taken off. Yeah, me neither. I think you're right, and I hope so as well. That could be the only saving grace of tonight. It really could be. Igal is here to have his say now, people. What are you saying, Igal?
Terry, what's up, man? How you doing?
How am I doing? I'm bad. I'm really bad.
Just 1 second. Give me a second, please. I need to get out of this room.
It's going to be a troll.
He needs to get out of your room. Yeah, go on, mate.
First of all, how you doing?
What do you want to say, mate?
Okay. Personally, I'm not even here to troll. I'm just going to be honest. I think, as I said to you guys numerous times, your defense, obviously, you already know about it. The refereeing decisions, at least you're very consistent, Terry. I'll give it to you. You're not letting any of these guys off. But Manchester United, you guys don't have somebody at the top. Until you bring in a manager, somebody who can actually steer the ship and steer this whole situation, you're not going to be back. This whole season is a write-off, and I think your board and everybody else has already written it off. You guys have to get through the season. Sorry, my throat. But yeah, you have to get through the season, and then once the season's done, you can finally get yourselves together, get a new manager, and get everything sorted out. Just personally, don't get yourself too stressed out for the rest of the season. This reminds me of us. Arsenal, when we were going through our struggles, we would always be in the Champions League, always be in these competitions, get knocked out of everything, not win any trophies. And we went through this with Arsene Wenger for 8-9 years. And I can see the parallels between what you guys are going through right now and what we were going through. I personally think you need to wait, see what happens in the summer, and then you guys can assess everything. Until then, all it's going to be is preparing for the summer. Every game you go into, you're not going to know what you're going to get because Manchester United are just too inconsistent. And I'm not even going to troll. The 5 years without a league title, it could end up becoming 10 years very, very quick. It could be 5 years without a trophy, could become 10 years. Sorry. I swear to God, I don't know what's wrong with my throat. I'm like losing my voice. But yeah, last thing, Colleen, you're killing it. Love it. Keep giving these guys smoke. Z finally admitted that all these players that I've been calling out from him and David De Gea himself, Terry, he might not be in decline, but he's not the modern goalkeeper. You're going to need to move on from him. That's obviously not even related to this game. Elanga, I love Elanga. Even though I'm a Rabo fan, I like the way that he studies the game and he focuses on he's going to improve. He needs proper coaching. I'm sorry, my throat is like done today. I don't know what's wrong with me. But yeah, long story short, the only way Manchester United is going to get back to the top if they have a figurehead and somebody who can steer the ship. Jose Mourinho and these guys might not have been the right man, but if you guys get a Ten Hagen, I think he can bring the Ajax. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
United's killing the gal, man.
Hey, Gal, that's
sorry.
the judge. That's the goodness. I hear you, bro. Look, I'll let you go. I hear what you're saying. I'll let you go because your voice is gone, my brother. We'll speak soon, my friend. Take care,
Peace.
mate. Take care, mate. Bless him.
Yeah.
Listen, like, he didn't come on the trial. He just, like, I make him right. Like, I don't necessarily think it's the manager's leadership. It's behind the scenes first, because if you've got, again, the manager's situation is built upon sand. It's really hard. But I get, I know. I'm laughing. Terry, what do your brothers think? Aren't they Arsenal fans? One of them is. I haven't rung him or spoke to him, but I'm not going to ring my brothers for an opinion on my club because they're just going to give me shit. Do you know what I mean? You guys think you're bad trolls. Meet my brothers. The two front runners for the Manchester United manager job have been knocked out of the Champions League, is what Andre says. Yeah, I get that. Can't believe United spent 85 million on a fridge. Fans abusing Simeone and no articles on media coverage. Yeah, I haven't seen any of that. I've not been looking, my friend, but yeah, I hear you on that one. Sneaking out of his mum's basement is what Wesley says. Deborah, with a lovely donation again, says, congratulations to CR7. Even though Messi is my GOAT, both have clubs who don't deserve them. Both have built the game around them, which they are just right to do. Our teams are just in need of a team mentality. I hear you, Deborah. I do. There's another super chat. Igal drink warm tea with honey is what Sheets has got. People being nice to him. Watching Grealish and Sancho this year makes Mount's Champions League run last year even more impressive. Criminally underrated by football fans all around. I hear you on that. Now listen, everyone who has tuned in today, thank you. Colleen, absolute pleasure.
Wait, sorry, Terry. What's the song we're going out to?
That song, I don't want to hear it. Remember, we're sponsored by Boohoo Man. Go and get your 40% discount. And if you are a Football Terrace member, in the next hour, Troops' edition of the 12th Man will be released. It's a feature-long, hour-long show. Tyler's been editing it tonight. Man looks like he wants to go and go to bed, but he's got to work. That's what he's paid for. That's going to be out very soon to all of our members if you want to see that first. The rest of you have got to wait until tomorrow. Smash the like button before you leave. Man United in the mud again. Was it the ref? Was it the players? Was it the club? You decide. Leave your comments below. Take care. Goodbye. God bless.